You shouldn't have touched it. Now she knows your name. That was the voicemail left on Detective Mara Ellison's phone at 3:17 a.m. No number. No voice recognition. Just a whisper buried in a sea of static. The call came just minutes after she de-opened the evidence box from the latest missing person case. Inside, wrapped in a blood-stained ribbon, was a single object, a tarnished silver ring as cold as ice. 16-year-old Lena Morell had vanished from her bedroom in the quiet, unassuming town of Duskfield, Oregon. It was the kind of disappearance that makes your skin crawl. There were no signs of a struggle, no forced entry. Just a perfect circle of salt drawn around her bed and a single cryptic message carved into the wall. She wears the ring she walks between. Detective Mara, a veteran of homicide, was assigned to the case. She was used to the grim realities of her job, but this felt different. Lena's mother, Evelyn, was a wreck, pale and trembling. She insisted her daughter was taken by the girl in the mirror. Mara initially wrote it off as grief-induced hysteria. It's a tragic but common response to trauma. But then she saw the mirror in Lena's room for herself. It was cracked, spider webbing from the center. And for a split second, Mara could have sworn she saw something move just behind the glass. The investigation turned to the ring itself. Its history was a dark and twisted road. Mara's team traced it back to a fire at a psychiatric asylum in 1903. A young girl, Clara Voss, mute and blindfolded, was found dead in the ashes, clutching the very same silver ring. Before she died, she had carved symbols all over her cell walls, circles, eyes, and one phrase repeated over and over and over. She sees through the silver. Clara died in the fire. But the ring survived. As Mara dug deeper, a terrifying pattern emerged. Every single person known to have touched that ring had vanished without a trace, and every disappearance was preceded by the exact same voicemail. She knows your name. The victims all reported the same thing in their final days, seeing a girl with no eyes, standing in mirrors, whispering their names. Then, they were gone. The real breakthrough came when Mara finally found Lena's hidden journal. The last entry wasn't a diary entry. It was a ritual. 3 simple steps. Place the ring on your finger. Stand before a mirror at midnight. Whisper your own name and wait for her to answer. Against her better judgment, against every rational instinct she had, Mara knew what she had to do. That night, she stood before her bathroom mirror, the cold silver ring on her finger. As the clock struck 12, she whispered her own name into the silence. For a full minute, nothing happened. Her reflection just stared back, unnervingly still. But at 12:01, her reflection smiled. It was a slow, predatory grin that didn't touch her own lips. At 12:02, its hand reached out from the glass. The next thing Mara knew, she was waking up on the cold tile floor with blood trickling from her ears. The ring was gone, and when she looked in the mirror, the reflection staring back was no longer her own. After that night, the world became a house of mirrors. Mara started seeing Clara everywhere, in car windows, in puddles on the street, in the reflection of her own TV screen. Clara's face was a pale mask, her eyes hollow, empty voids. She'd whisper names, mimicking the voices of Mara's loved ones. She was walking between reflections, just as the carving had said. Meanwhile, Mara's partner, Detective Ruiz, made a chilling discovery about the ring. He'd sent it to the lab for analysis. It wasn't silver. It was electrum, an ancient, pale gold alloy used in burial rites to communicate with the dead. And the ribbon it was wrapped in, it wasn't cloth, it was human tissue. The ring was a binding object to tether between the world of the living and the world of the dead. Ruiz's last call to Mara was cut short. He'd been looking through the evidence box. His last words were a terrified gasp. "She's behind me." Then the line went dead. Knowing she was next, Mara returned to where it all began, Lena's house. The place was abandoned. Evelyn was gone. The mirror in Lena's room was covered in a thick layer of salt and strange, frantic symbols. This was the epicenter. Taking a deep breath, Mara stepped inside the salt circle Lena had left behind. She slipped a replica ring onto her finger, one she'd had made, and whispered her name to the glass. For a moment, silence. Then, the mirror didn't just crack, it exploded, shattering into 1,000 pieces. From the empty frame, Clara emerged. But she wasn't a ghost, not really. She was something far worse. A parasite that fed on identity, on memory, on fear. She didn't kill her victims. She replaced them, stealing their lives and leaving a hollow shell behind. Remembering the symbols from Lena's journal and the asylum records, Mara fought back. This wasn't a physical fight, it was a battle of wills, a ritual of containment. She managed to trap Clara's essence in a small, handheld mirror, sealing it with a drop of her own blood. It was over, or so she thought. As she walked out of the house, exhausted but alive, she saw it. Every reflective surface, she passed a window pane, a shard of glass on the floor. The side view mirror of her car showed Clara's face, smiling, waiting. Weeks later, Mara resigned from the force. She couldn't do the job anymore, couldn't trust her own reflection. She moved to a remote cabin deep in the woods, a place with no mirrors, no polished surfaces, nothing that could hold an image. She thought she was finally safe, but one morning, a package was left on her doorstep. With trembling hands, she opened it. Inside was a cracked handheld mirror, a single silver ring, and her phone began to ring. It was a blocked number. A familiar whisper echoed down the line. You shouldn't have touched it. Now she knows your name. Mara slowly raised the mirror. She stared at her own face, tired and haunted. Her reflection blinked. She didn't. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more chills. Let me know in the comments what you think happened to Mara next. Stay safe and check your mirrors.